I'm so excited for this weekend. There's going to be so many great matches on. I'm watching a little Southampton versus Newcastle right now to get warmed up. I believe tomorrow Wolves are going to play Leicester, and that's going to be a great match. Kind of a battle for who's going to be in the top four, who can be considered a Big Six club. As Wolves and Leicester finished in the top 6 or 7 last season, can they replace the likes of maybe Arsenal, maybe Spurs, maybe Manchester United, maybe Chelsea on that list if those teams underperform this year? However, regardless, it's going to be a great match. Wolves are in great form. They just smashed Crystal Palace. We saw what Leicester did to City earlier in the year. These are two very capable teams. It's going to be a really exciting match. Everton versus Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is basically coaching for his job. If they lose, a lot of people are saying he's going to be out. And I would agree, considering that they haven't been doing great this season. People have been talking real bad about them. And Everton have lost their past 2 Premier League matches without the likes of James Rodriguez and Richarlison. I'm not sure if either of them will be back for this match. However, I didn't do much research because the one game I'm so invested in right now is the clash of the champions. Liverpool versus Manchester City, the number 1 and number 2 teams in this league, in my opinion. Liverpool and Man City have faced off 28 times, with City winning 7, Liverpool winning 12, and the teams drawing 9 times. Last season, Liverpool started off their commanding title run in great fashion. That run included a 3-1 thrashing of Manchester City, in which the team was up 3-0 at one point, and it looked like they were just going to run riot on them. The game ended 3-1 due to a goal from, I believe, Bernardo, but Liverpool comfortably won on their way to securing the title in very early fashion before Manchester City got their revenge, beating them 4-0, absolutely thrashing them when Liverpool were in party mode, it seemed like. But all of that goes out the window. I just wanted to introduce it to show that anything could happen between these two teams. This matchup is something crazy. We've seen games, scorelines like 4-3, 3-0, 4-0, 3-2, etc. in recent years. Benjamin Mendy, Fernandinho, and Sergio Aguero are going to be out for Manchester City. That means another big game that Manchester City does not have their big game striker for. How will that hurt them? I'll get into that as we go on, but before, let me bring the Liverpool team news. Fabinho is going to be out, their pivotal defensive mid, and now first choice center back, considering Van Dijk is out, and Matip, I believe, is also out or just out of favor at this point. And then Thiago is out, Champions League final MVP from last season, big summer signing. He's not going to play. Van Dijk, of course, is out for the season, so there's questions as to who's going to play center back in this match. I personally don't know. And then, of course, Oxlade-Chamberlain remains on the injury reserve. Now, to my predicted XIs, I got City going with a 4-3-3. I know that Pep Guardiola likes to spice it up for big game occasions, but I think that this is the most and widely logical formation and system to use for this game. I've gone with Ederson in net, Cancelo on the left, even though he's a right-footed player. I think he's been playing that outside back position very well for Portugal and Manchester City, no matter what side he's on. Let's keep going. Laporte and Diaz in the middle, holding it down. They've done really well lately. Got Kyle Walker on the right, former PFA Young Player of the Year and long-time top fullback in this league. And in the middle, I've gone with Rodri, and of course the best player in the league, to my estimation, Kevin De Bruyne. And alongside them, either Bernardo or Gundogan, I would expect. I've gone with Bernardo for this game. I think that he is a top player and has been favored by the manager more recently. So I've gone with him. And then up top, we've got Sterling, Gabriel Jesus. I pray for Manchester City's sake they start Gabriel Jesus and not Fernan Torres or Sterling or someone up top. They need to start a natural striker for this game. I can't emphasize that enough. If they don't, you can just cross them off. They'll lose the game, I promise you. Well, I can promise you they won't win doing that. However, my front three is Sterling, Jesus, and Mahrez. That's what I think he'll be smart enough to go with. That's what I think is the best. I don't want to see Foden starting up there. I don't want to see Bernardo starting up there. If I'm a Manchester City fan, I want to see natural wingers, a natural striker, and 3 natural midfielders and just going for it. I think they can win the game with that XI, but Liverpool are coming in with a strong one as well. Alisson, some say, is the best goalie in the world, will be starting. Thank goodness for Liverpool fans, considering Adrian has been a mess the past 2 seasons. Then we've got Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, the best fullbacks in the league, or some of the best for sure in the world. Then we've got Joe Gomez at the back, and I'm guessing Nathaniel Phillips started the game versus West Ham, played pretty well, held them to 1 goal. They got the dub with him starting. He looks of decent size. People were saying he played a good game. I would trust him. I would trust him to play. I'm sure Klopp has some youth players up his sleeve and some crazy ideas, like maybe starting Jordan Henderson in the back. But I think Nate Phillips is the guy he'll go with. And then in the midfield, start Henderson, Wijnaldum, and this is where it gets confusing. He can either go with the 4-3-3, start Hendo, Wijnaldum, and Jota, and then start Firmino, the big front 3 up top. Or he can switch to a 4-2-3-1 as he did against Sheffield to start Jota and Firmino and play Henderson and Wijnaldum in the double pivot with Firmino in front of them, Jota out wide, Mane on one side and Salah up top. I don't know what he'll go with. My guess is that he'll stick with the 4-3-3 and start Keita, Henderson, Wijnaldum. Sorry if I'm all over the place, but this is just my thought process. And then up top, I think he will go with Mane, Salah, and Diogo Jota. Even though they won the Premier League convincingly with Firmino last season, I know he's a great figure for Liverpool FC. I think he will feature at some point in this game regardless, but you can't ignore the fact that Jota has been on fire lately, and I think Klopp will recognize that and start him. Now, obviously Firmino or Jota is a huge question, or Firmino and Jota, and I'm really interested as to what Klopp will do. But my personal estimation is that they both will play, but only one can start. But who knows? Let's talk about recent form to figure out who we really think will win this game. Liverpool, since that 7-2 thrashing at Aston Villa, they have gone what should be 6-0 in the Premier League, or actually in all competitions. I say that because they tied Everton 2-2 in a game where Jordan Pickford should have been sent off 5 minutes in for a challenge on Van Dijk, less than 5 minutes in, and he wasn't. And then Liverpool went on to score a game-winning goal in the 95th minute that was called offsides for a goal that looked onside by the screenshots and pictures I've seen. So I'm going to give that one to Liverpool in my mind, just because they played the winning side that game. Simple as that. I feel that they deserved it. They've been thrashing everyone. 2-2 to Everton, 1-0 to Ajax, 2-1 Sheffield, 2-0 to Midtjylland, some team from, I believe, Denmark, 2-1 to West Ham, and 5-0 at Atalanta, where Diogo Jota got his first Premier League hat-trick. Actually, yeah, that's correct. He scored. Or it wasn't a Premier League hat-trick. It It was his third European hat-trick, first Champions League hat-trick. Exciting for him. The young player is really going nuts at the moment. With 6 goals in his past 4 matches, scoring in all of his latest 4 games, I think it would be impossible and disrespectful for Klopp to not feature him in the match on Sunday. And because of his amazing performance, I think he'll start, but I already mentioned that. Now, on to Manchester City, right? They've been playing surprisingly good defense lately, with only 4 goals conceded in their past 8 games played, proving that they really can have a great defense when the timing is right, meaning when they have guys like Cancelo and Walker available, not having to play guys like Zinchenko or Eric Garcia, the little guy. They've got Ruben Diaz now coming into the side. He looks pretty solid. Laporte back healthy, playing a lot of games. And Ederson in net, who kept, I believe, 16 clean sheets last season. So this is a defense that can get it done. And then you got a solid defensive midfielder like Rodri, who I expect to start. And then maybe the best player in the world, but maybe the best player in the league as well, of course. Next to him in Kevin De Bruyne. This is a team who can really win any game. That's what I would call them. That's why this game is so exciting, because these are 2 teams that can beat anyone in the world, and they're going at it with the fierce rivalry, and we don't know what's going to happen. That's the beauty of it. Now, City have 3 wins in a row, all with clean sheets, and have gone 8 games unbeaten. So, what am I expecting now? Am I expecting a high-scoring game, low-scoring game? City dominant in possession, Liverpool on the counter-attack. What am I thinking? Jota to start. Who's going to score the goals? There's a lot to think about, and like I said, a lot of quality players in this game. A lot can happen. Liverpool, I believe, have been playing the better of the football recently. Despite City's unbeaten run, they have drawn teams like West Ham and Leeds United within that run in the Premier League. Teams that Liverpool have beaten by 1 goal, but beaten this season themselves. It's a tough one to call, but I think that Liverpool are going to get it done. I always tend to lean Liverpool because they're a club I'm a big fan of, but I don't think Man City are as strong as they wish they were at the moment. With Gabriel Jesus having to start, he is no slouch, but he is also no Sergio Aguero. His goal or assist to minute ratio is really impressive. But I just don't think City have their tactics right at the moment. They're not running through the bad sides like we usually see Manchester City sides do in the past, dominating possession, scoring loads of goals. Sterling doesn't look himself this season on that left side. He's not really gotten off to the mark, and he's supposed to be one of their top goal scorers. Jesus hasn't really got any minutes. I think maybe his first minutes this season were last game, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen him score a goal yet. Not saying he can't, not saying Sterling can't. Mahrez, I haven't really seen him get off the mark yet this season, and this would be a great time to do it for sure. De Bruyne, obviously, you know who he is. He'll be there, he'll perform. But Liverpool, I just see them as a club that are flying at the moment. Beating Atalanta away 5-0 in their last game, a team who was probably the best team in the Serie A for half of the season last year. A team who can really go at teams and score, and they held them goalless and put 5 past them. Diogo Jota is an absolute madman. I don't know how else to describe him. He could play on the wing. He could play in the midfield. He could play up top. when I see him in the team sheet, he's just bouncing around. My app is trying to guess what formation Liverpool's playing, and I'm trying to guess when I watch sometimes. Because when you have guys like Firmino, who plays a false nine, Mane, who sometimes is playing striker, Salah, same thing, but sometimes he's on the right, and Jota just all running around, making plays, making runs, you don't really know where anyone's playing. But when you have so many guys like that who are willing to get out of position to make plays, especially in big games, it's a big deal. And I think that as long as Klopp starts enough of those game changers, he will win the game comfortably. I'm going to go with a 3-1 Liverpool victory. I think that I wanted to say this would be a low-scoring game because of Man City's recent defensive prowess, but I think that there's going to be questions at the back for both teams. I don't think City has seen an attack like Liverpool yet this season, and I think they're going to come strong and come correct. And City, I believe, have scored a goal in their past 12 matches, so I expect them to score as well. And I just think it's going to be whose attack is better. And I don't think too much has changed from last season, although things are very different in terms of the landscape of the league. I think that Liverpool still have the better attack and still have the better heart and big game players to win this game. Although I think De Bruyne will be the best player in the match, it does not matter when you have guys who are so close to him on Liverpool in abundance. So I'm going 3-1 Liverpool. Let me know what you guys are thinking down below. And if you're new, please sub or hit the like button because it would help me out a lot and, yeah, make me smile. So have a great day, everyone, and enjoy this weekend of Premier League football.